provided there to the real estate agent. Is that right?
Yes.
How did you pay? Did you move into this accommodation?
I did move into this property, yes. Well, my partner did, and I stayed there for a short while, yes.
Right. And how did you pay for that accommodation?
Paid for that accommodation with my credit card transfer.
Which credit card?
My personal credit card, I believe, but on looking at your documents, I've seen that it is not my personal credit card. It is the MX card, and I mean, I hate to sound old news. I arranged those payments to be made by Danielle.
Right. Well, if you would go to page 405, please.
I will. Yes.
About 2/3 of the way down the page, do you see a payment of DEFT payment system, City?
I do, yes.
$878.05 on the Union credit card, and that, if you'd accept from me, you can look at the other documents, goes to the real estate agent for the rent.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
And that's your Union credit card being used for that?
That may be my Union credit card being used for that, but I assure you I did not authorise that. Danielle was responsible for paying my rent, and I believe it was being paid out of my personal accounts.
Can you go to page 406, please?
Yes.
You see on the 9th of May, there's another payment, DEFT payment systems, $4,390.25.
Yes.
Do you see the word written there in handwriting, airfares question mark?
Yes.
Do you know what that refers to?
I have no idea.
Was it the case that Ms O'Brien, if she was unsure of what payments related to, put questions on statements such that you could clarify it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Did you clarify this payment with Ms O'Brien?
I don't remember being asked about this payment. I don't remember the payment.
Well, it's clear from this, is it not, that Ms O'Brien was not aware of the nature of the payment. Would you agree with that?
Well, maybe she wasn't, but it doesn't mean that I've seen it or had it brought to me.
But you are saying, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, that Ms O'Brien was looking after the payments for you, and that's why it went on the Union credit card. But it appears she didn't know what this was for.
Well, this is well, I don't know, airfares she's put. I mean, maybe she was putting airfares to make people think it was airfares.
That is a payment for
It's the same payment as the previous
rental.
one. The DFT payment.
That's payment for rental for this address.
Yes. I did not authorise, nor did I ask anyone to steal or make that payment on my behalf. Well, I asked Danielle to make a rental payment on my behalf out of my personal money. And I believe that money was removed from my personal account.
And why do you believe that if Miss O'Brien didn't even know what it was for?
Well, you're saying Miss O'Brien didn't know what it was for.
Not
me. I'm not saying she didn't know.
Is it your understanding, I'll clarify it, is it your understanding that Miss O'Brien did understand what it was for? Is that what you're saying?
My understanding that payment was made on the rent of my property. It was meant to be made out of my personal account. The airfares comment on a piece of paper with a question mark, I am not aware what that is or why that is there. I do not know. That is my comment.
Did you check as to whether or not the rental payments were coming out of your own money at any time?
I checked that my account was being debited for those amounts, or my account was having money taken out of it. Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Which account did you check?
My Maritime Credit Union.
Right. And you checked that $878.05 was being taken out, did you?
Sometimes more. It would depend on how much was owed on the rent. I don't think, you know, I'm trying to be as assisting as I can, but I mean, I did not authorise Danielle or anyone else to pay my rent on the Union credit card. I did not pay my rent on the Union credit card, or was not expecting for it to be paid on the Union's credit card. I have not authorised or stolen any money from the National Union Workers New South Wales branch.
Can I go to a different topic now? Can I ask you about the arrangement with Mr Gibson?
Mr Gibson? Yes, absolutely.
How did that come about?
I've known Paul for, I don't know, 20 years. He was a friend of my father's prior to that.
And how did you come to be in a financial arrangement such that he was paid a regular amount of about $8,800 for a period of many, many months?
For about same period as we didn't pay the Australian Labor Party their affiliation fees. There was some difficulties with the Australian Labor Party.
Could you just go close to the microphone, please?
Oh, sorry. We were having difficulties with the Labor Party. Mr Gibson was sort of a bridge between us and them at that stage. It was agreed that I would pay, I suppose maybe it wasn't agreed, maybe I just decided to do it without their agreement, but I think they agreed. It was agreed that I would pay Mr Gibson the ALP affiliation fees, which were the equivalent amount of what he was paid, rather than paid to the ALP whilst we were fixing up our issues. So I believe that it was no net detriment to the union. The same amount of money was paid. The union was still recognised as being affiliated. I didn't see that that was a major issue.
Was he meant to be doing anything?
He was doing quite a lot at one stage.
At which stage?
Oh, at the beginning, I mean, there was very strained relationships between us and the Labor Party.
And you smiled when you were saying that I just decided to do it. You said, maybe I just decided to do it without their agreement, but I think they agreed, and you were looking at somewhere in the room. Who were you looking at?
Who was I looking at? I wasn't looking at anyone. I was looking at all the glasses behind the books.
Right. So who do you think they agreed, even though you just decided to do it without their agreement?
Well, I had their agreement, the Labor Party. The men running the Labor Party at the time.
Right. Did you run this past anyone in the union, sir, this arrangement?
Did I run this past anyone? No, I did not.
Right. Why is that?
Because when I chose to employ someone, I was allowed. I'd always been allowed to choose who I employ or what I engage people to do.
But it's not your money, it's the union's money, isn't it?
Absolutely, and he was doing union work.
Right. What sort of work was he doing?
He was bridging the gap in the strained difficulties between us and the Labor Party.
And how was he going about that?
Well, he was meeting with them, meeting with us, bringing us together, talking about the issues we had. It was a lot of issues between us, such as the gay marriage issue, the weekend rates issue, lots of issues between us.
And how long was he doing that, to your understanding?
Oh, 18 months maybe, something like that, was it? I don't know, maybe a bit longer.
Almost 2 years, according to our records.
Oh, there you are, 18 months, a bit longer, yeah.
And he was paid $271,566.08.
Was he paid that much? Well, that would have been the equivalent of the affiliation fees.
Right. And how did you come to agree upon that particular figure for the work that he was doing?
Well, I thought the ALP should pay for it. So rather than them get the money, he got it.
And that was just your thought, was it?
That
no
was
one else's?
my thought, yes.
Right. Did you think it was appropriate, sir, to run that thought past anyone else in the union?
I believed I did put it past the BCM.
Do you? You
I
believe
do.
that, do you?
I think I did, yes.
Right. And when did you do that?
I can't recall, but I do believe that it would be in the minutes somewhere if we had a good look.
Right. Well, we've had a good look and we can't see it.
Well, maybe we should have a better look.
Right. What month do you say we should have a better look in,
I
sir?
can't recall last June, Dale. I can't recall last June, so I'm not going to say what month, but I believe if I did something like that, as always, I would have took it before the BCM.
And if it isn't in the minutes, can you account for that?
If it isn't in the minutes, no, I cannot. It would have been a decision I'd made. I'm sure a lot of people seen Gibbo around the office. I'm sure a lot of people seen Gibbo in Parliament and sitting with us and talking to us. I'm sure it went on regular. I'm sure there'll be a lot of calls between me and Mr Gibson. We used to talk very regularly about the party and the difficulties we were having.
Did he give any formal reports back to the union for this $271,000?
I believe he was meant to do a formal report with a Mr Ptolemy. You'd have to speak to him about it. I never seen one, no, so maybe not.
Did you think that it would have been appropriate for him to report to the union, given so much of the union's money is going to him?
Well, I think he got so much of the Labor Party's money. Remembering that that money was diverted from the Labor Party. It did not cost any of the members $1 extra. So I believe, but even so, I believe, yes, it would have been nice to have a report, yes.
You think it was appropriate that there was no report, if there was no report?
No, I do not. And it was another lapse in my judgment, I suppose, and it's another one of the things I'll have to live with.